In today's take, I want to talk about Eric Bledsoe and how much pressure is he under going into next season, and what should we expect from Eric Bledsoe this upcoming season. Now, before we go into that, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But let's just go ahead and jump right into the topic. Now, Eric Bledsoe is a player that has been decorated as a mini LeBron. He's been decorated as a player that a lot of people see with a lot of talent. Overall, game-wise, a lot of people have praised him in his game for years. But has he lived up to his expectations? Has he lived up to what a lot of people thought he could be or should be? I don't think so. I think Eric Bledsoe is a really nice player, as I said in my previous videos. I think he's good enough to help a team stay afloat until he falls off a cliff. And everybody knows he falls off a cliff in the playoffs. So, looking at that, there's really high expectations for Eric Bledsoe, I think, this year. But if I had to put an amount of pressure on Eric Bledsoe, I'm not sure if he would be the one I want to put pressure on. Because you got to understand this. With Patrick Beverley gone, with Rajon Rondo gone, you're asking Eric Bledsoe to come in there and play the role of both of those players all in one person. And you're asking him to do it in the playoffs as well. And see, that's just not a recipe for success when you look at Bledsoe's career and how it's ended up so far. Now, I did say on my previous video, if there's any coach that I think that can get the best or maximize the best out of Eric Bledsoe, it would be Ty Lue. What Ty Lue did with Reggie Jackson and a few others on that team this past season going into the playoffs and entering the playoffs was really spectacular with what he got out of them, because I didn't see some of these attributes that I seen in Reggie Jackson this postseason. I didn't see none of this years prior when Reggie Jackson was in the NBA before, or when he was on other teams before. But Reggie Jackson really surprised me, and he's legit. He's certified. But now we have to see if Ty Lue can take this project, which is Eric Bledsoe, and see if he can make him into the type of player, or mold him into the type of player that they need to win. Now, I will say this, talent-wise, I've said before, Eric Bledsoe has the talent. Eric Bledsoe is good enough to be in this league and play at a high level. Consistently, I'm not sure. Because in moments he has, but consistency has been his biggest Achilles heel, especially, like I said, when it comes to the playoffs. He had some good regular seasons, but in the playoffs is when you're needed the most and when you're called upon the most. And that's where you make your name, and that's where you make the most money. To be honest with you, all your contracts, any big contract you sign, people want to see how you perform in the playoffs. And they want to see if you're a leader type or one that can actually help a team win. And that's just not something that Eric Bledsoe has been. But the pressure on Eric Bledsoe is insurmountable, if you ask me. Because like I said, he has to replace Patrick Beverley defensively. Now, what Patrick Beverley did defensively, his years on the Clippers, was really good. It gave them a lot of hope. And last year gave them even more hope than ever. Like I said, the way he guarded Devin Booker in that 6-game series versus the Suns was amazing. And for him to play Devin Booker, an elite type, up and coming scorer like Devin Booker is and will be, was really, really remarkable. And it just goes to show the Clippers would have definitely won if they had Kawhi Leonard. No doubt about it. But that's my point. You have to be able to win in other ways. Sometimes your superstars don't always have it every night. And there were some nights, there were a lot of nights in the playoffs. If you look at the playoffs, they were down 0-2 in every series. There were several nights where the Clippers just didn't play good overall as a team. And the superstars, they played good. And they had their moments where they could have played a little bit better. And then, they picked it up as the series went on. And, won most of all the series they played in. They were down 0-2. But at the same time, you have to have those other guys that pick up the slack sometime. That's why it's a team game. And you're asking Eric Bledsoe to play defense like Patrick Beverley, but have the IQ of a player like Rajon Rondo. Even though I don't think Rondo played good for the Clippers at all, I still think he has a high IQ for basketball, because you don't win 2 championships by luck, and you don't be a part of the reason why a team wins 2 championships by luck. So it's like, As much as I criticize Rondo, I don't discredit the fact that he doesn't have basketball IQ, because he does. It's no doubt about that. But that's what I'm saying. You're asking Eric Bledsoe to be basically a defensive player like Patrick Beverley with the IQ of Rajon Rondo, all in one person. And you're asking him to do that on the highest level, going into the playoffs in a position he's never played or never displayed those type of attributes on that stage. Because as I said earlier, the playoffs is his Achilles heel. And unless he rectifies that this season with the Clippers, I'm pretty sure this is his last run in the NBA. If he doesn't make this work with the Clippers, to be honest with you, I think Eric Bledsoe is probably out the NBA, probably for good. You'll probably see him on the Big Three with Ice Cube, or Ice Cube's little Big Three tournament thing he has, or, maybe even overseas. I'm not sure, but I think this is his last run in the NBA, and I really hope that he does make this work, because he does have talent, but I just believe he doesn't make this work here with his second stint with the Clippers. After he's traveled around, been a journeyman a little bit, I think it's pretty much over for Eric Bledsoe. So, he better make the best of it and better be on the best behavior, the top of his game as he can be, because I just don't think no other team will see value in him if this doesn't work out. Now, as far as what we should expect from Eric Bledsoe going into this season, we should expect somewhere around 19 points a game with 5 assists. 19 points a game, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. That's around about where we should expect from Eric Bledsoe. If he can provide a little bit more than that, that would be great. That would be a plus. But honestly, if you want to be logical about it and looking at Eric Bledsoe's history and how he plays, they need at least 19 points a game on about 45% shooting, maybe about 38% to 40% from three, and give them about 5 assists a game. That's what they need consistently. And in the playoffs, they're going to need 21 points a game, or maybe 22 points a game, depending on whether Kawhi Leonard comes back or not. So it's like, regardless of what the situation is, they're going to need him to be more consistent. And what he gives them in the regular season, pretty much, he's going to have to give them in the postseason. Maybe a couple of more points added. Like I said, if he averages 19 in the regular season and they're the 5th or 6th seed, something like that, going into the playoffs, where he has to average 21 or 22, maybe give or take in the postseason. Because, it could be a situation where he's the main guy. By that time, you never know what Tyler will come up with. Maybe he'll be the main guy coming off the bench with, Terrence Mann, and they're expected to come in and do big things for the team while they rest Kawhi Leonard some, who will just be coming back, possibly, if he does come back. He'll just be coming back from his knee injury and everything, trying to get him motivated and going and everything like that, and they'll be ready to go. Now, I will say this. If Kawhi comes back 100% before the playoffs and is ready to go, well, they might not need 22 points out of Eric Bledsoe. If Kawhi Leonard comes back 100% healthy, it'll be okay. He can stay around 17, 16, something like that if Kawhi is there, because they won't need but so much out of him, but they would just need consistent shooting percentage and consistency in regards to his numbers of giving them production in the playoffs. Because really, that's really what this is all about. Playoffs, championship, or nothing. That's pretty much where it is for the Clippers. So I think a lot of pressure's on Eric Bledsoe, and I think he knows that. And I think a lot of people expect a lot of him by the 2 players that the Clippers let go to acquire him. And that's just the way it is. Fans are going to look at it that way. And if he comes out not performing the way he's supposed to, they're going to boot him out of there. And I know Eric Bledsoe probably is thinking that, or, I know he knows that, hey, this is his second go round. This is probably his last stint with the team and in the NBA. So you got to show up. You got to show up and you got to show out. And that's pretty much what it is. And that's pretty much the only way to really look at it. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Let me know what you think in the comment section, as always, and we'll engage and we'll talk about it as we always do in the Cali Take family. And hey, Cali out.